What's up everyone, WizardKen here with another Xbox 360 World of Tanks video. Today we're going to be looking at the Japanese Tier 10 medium, the STB-1. That's right guys, I finally unlocked this tank. Some of you guys have seen me on the live stream playing with this tank and getting used to this tank. I've had it for about a week now and I've been playing it like crazy, trying to learn the ins and outs of playing a medium tank. I'm very excited that I finally have a Tier 10 medium tank, but it's been a long road getting here. The Japanese, like Tier 8, Tier 9, and Tier 10 are very, very expensive in the sense of experience points. The packages are going to cost you a lot, and also just unlocking the tanks. This tank by itself is 255,000 experience points, so it's definitely a grind fest to be able to get this tank. I know I used a lot of free XP to unlock it, and that helps out a lot, but for you guys that aren't able to do that, this will be a long grind for you. I know Bubba's doing this and he's only on the Tier 8. Like, I think he just unlocked the last gun on the Tier 8 and he plays that thing every single day. So just be advised, it will take you a while to grind out these tanks, especially if you're not used to medium tanks like me. I'm not used to medium tanks, and it was a real awesome experience to actually mess with a medium tank. I mean, I've done the Jumbo Sherman, but to actually go up a line all the way to Tier 10 is very exciting, and it was a challenge, and I enjoyed it very much. There was frustrating times, and then there was awesome times, and I took about a week to really mess with this tank and try to learn it. I'm still not amazing at it, but I know with time and effort, I can get there. I know a lot of you guys on the live stream and other comments on other videos have said, look, it's going to take a while to get used to this tank and how it performs and what's the best way to play it. So, but moving on, the STB-1 wasn't actually in the sense World War II. This was actually developed to go against the Russian T-62. The Japanese realized they didn't have a tank that could actually go against the T-62. So they started developing the STB-1, and it actually used to have an autoloader on it, but eventually they realized after making a prototype of this tank and then going through the trials and everything, that it was very costly to be using an autoloader and stuff like that. So eventually they changed out the gun, but then it became a different tank. I think like STB-7 or something like that. It's a different type of tank or something like that. So the STB-1 was pretty much just a prototype, and then that was it. So, but it's still a pretty neat tank. It actually had a anti-aircraft machine gun on it. I think it was a machine gun, or whatever you want to call an anti-aircraft gun. But it had an anti-aircraft gun that was remote control, so you could actually control it inside the tank. But they eventually scrapped that idea too. So. But anyways, this has been a lot of fun running this tank. Like I said, it's been a struggle. If you guys are going to be going up this line, please take your time with it. Make sure you understand these tanks. I have to tell you, this has been one of my hardest tank lines to go up. Medium tanks are not my forte. They're not my thing. I love my heavies and my tank destroyers and my artillery, which I'm not even amazing at artillery. That's Rush Dodge's thing, but Cosmic even said, having the back chat and stuff like that, and he even has this tank, and he's just like, it was fun, but it was definitely a struggle. He had some problems with the Tier 9 stuff like that. He didn't like the commander's hatch on it and stuff, and I agree with him. There were some things on this tank that I just don't like. It's nice that this thing actually has a little bit more armor than the previous tanks, but the problem is you're still getting penned because it's still not a lot of armor. And even though the turret is nicely designed and everything, it's one of those things where if you still don't set up right, you're not going to bounce. You're going to still get penetrated, and that's happened with me. So like I said, I'm still getting used to this tank, and really pushing into the battle and going around my enemies. I work really well in a platoon. See, by myself, I'm okay with this tank. It's hit and miss whether I'm going to do really good with this tank. But if I'm in a platoon, especially if Bubba and Crazy Roy are running artillery or Rush Dodge, anybody that's running artillery or can support me in some way, I can get out there, spot some people, I can track them, which is what I usually go for, is tracking them. They start bombarding the tank, and then that's when I start swooping in and trying to damage it the rest of the way to get it killed, so we can get rid of a tank. And that's worked out pretty well when I've worked with them in the past on this tank. So you know what, other people might be better on their own and stuff like that, but for me, I do work better in a platoon with this tank. So anyways, guys, it's that time of the video where if you want to click the button and then go check out the click the annotation and check out the actual battle itself, that should be popping up somewhere around here. And I don't know, I try to aim it within this section. But anyways, we're going to be talking about the stats, and then we're going to be going into the actual armor and talking about the weak spots. I know we haven't done that in a while, but I think we really need to look at this tier 10, and because it does have a little bit more armor, it's very well shaped, and we need to talk about some of the weak spots that you're going to see on this tank. So anyways, like I said, click on that button if you want to. If not, here we go. Alright guys, so let's look at the stats on this tank, but before we get into that, I hope you guys are enjoying the music. I thought it would be really neat to do something a little bit different. I mean, in the past, I've done historical backgrounds on tanks and stuff like that. That took up a lot of my time. This is actually taking up a lot of my time, being able to edit all this little intro stuff in there and things like that, and finding the music. You would be surprised on, even though I have, you know, a partnership with a YouTube program that allows me to get free music from a couple different sources, it's really hard to find that cultural music that you hear in Japan and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys are liking it. I enjoyed it. I thought it would be a neat idea. It's been one of those ideas that have been in my brain for a while, but I was like, screw it, I think this would be really cool to end this tier 10 series with. So, but anyways, moving on to the stats. The hit points on this thing is 1,950. I don't think that's bad at all. I think that'll save your butt. I mean, you do have a lot more armor than you usually do on the other tanks, and but this will also actually help you out a lot. You can actually withstand a couple of hits. Unfortunately, when you still go against those E100s that are using premium rounds, and they're using the big gun, the 15 centimeter, I think it is. Anyways, I could be wrong on that. But anyways, if they're using that, I mean, usually 2 shots from them and you're going to be dead, or you know, 2 to 3 shots somewhere in there. So you still have to be very careful. The speed on this thing is 53 kilometers per hour, which is actually really nice to have. It's not the fastest thing out there, but you get up and go. This thing is pretty light. It does have a decent amount of armor, like I said, but it's pretty light. It does like to peekaboo pretty nicely. I love peekabooing with this tank. I've gotten a lot better with, you know, how to peekaboo and stuff like that with this tank. A lot of you guys are like, really? I thought you were really good at it. Guys, I'm good at it, but you can always be better. And the more, you know, the better you are at something, the better you're going to be with your tank, and the more hits and damage and points you're going to get at the end and stuff like that. So, but the speed, like I said, not a bad amount of speed. The whole armor on this, starting with the front, is 110, on the side is 35, and on the rear is 25. So you can see that we actually gained some more whole armor in the front, but the sides and the rear are still pretty lacking. So no side shots on this tank, and definitely don't get hit in the rear. You're going to get penned. One of the problems I have in this is getting ammo racked, or my turret getting knocked out, the turret ring and stuff like that, which, to be honest with you, if you look at this tank, there's not really any gaps that you could hit the turret ring, except really in the back and stuff like that. So I think when, and I had to look back on videos on this, but the majority of the time when I am getting my turret ring knocked out, it's because I'm looking left or right and someone shoots me in the back of the turret somewhere, because there is a little bit of a gappage right there on the back of the turret. So, anyways, moving on to the turret, there's 132 armor in the front, 132 on the sides, and 37 on the rear. So this is actually pretty neat turret. It kind of reminds me almost of the IS-7 in that sense. I know it's not exactly the IS-7, but it looks like that, or the T-62 if you want to. Kind of looks like that. It's a really nice turtle shell shape. It will bounce thing. I mean, with having that armor, 132, you know, there's still tier 10s that are going to pen you. A lot of them will pin you no matter what, but getting a hold down position on this thing, if you need to, if you're in that kind of predicament where you're in the front lines for some reason and you're getting penned all over the place, you know, getting a hold down position, this thing actually does bounce rounds and stuff like that. You know, I feel facing them with this tank, you know, having your turret facing them when you're in a hold down position, actually helps. And sometimes angling it left or right of the person you're looking at kind of helps too, because there seems to be where they like to knock out my gun. They like to shoot where in the front of this turret there is like a little bit of armor that goes straight up and down, and we'll talk about that when we get into the weak spots. But there is a piece of armor that faces straight up and down, and I think when they hit that, that's where they're knocking out my gun and stuff. So alrighty, so the gun on this thing is 105 millimeter. The rate of fire with the 105 millimeter is 7.50 rounds a minute. So you can almost get your crew up to about 8 rounds a minute, which is actually not too bad. I don't mind that. So it's not terrible on how many rounds you can get going down there. The penetration for those rounds is 258. This is just standard armor piercing rounds, guys. So 258 pen, that's really not bad. That's actually really nice. I like having that amount of pen on a tier 10. That's really, really nice. You can pen some stuff. Now you are going to notice you are going to bounce a lot of things too, you know, and that's just going to happen. I've bounced D100s, but then I've actually hurt them pretty hard too. So it's a roll of dice. The damage on this thing is 390, so not bad amount of damage, almost 400 damage, which is pretty much like the IS-7 does, is about 400 and something around. And this thing does 390. I kind of like that. I don't mind that at all. You can knock down some tanks pretty nicely with that. The aim time on here, I know you guys don't see this, but this is something I do want to bring up. The aim time is 2.29, so getting that enhanced gun laying drive will actually help you a lot in this tank, because it does take you a little bit to zoom in, and with a tank like this you want to be able to get that thing locked in really quickly. You want to be able to shoot your round off and then get out of there really quickly. You want to be able to do that peekaboo system, and that 2.29 aiming time does kind of hinder you, so I would highly suggest getting that. Also the vertical stabilizer, put that on there. These will all help you, especially if you're shooting on the move. If you guys ever notice, if you put a vertical stabilizer on there and a gun laying drive, your bubbles don't move that much unless you're like really jerking the turret left or right. And even then, you know, it does get fixed back in pretty quickly. And when you're on the move, that vertical stabilizer does try to help you a little bit. It's not the most amazing thing, but it does help a little bit on trying to get that the aim time in there, and also the accuracy on there. The aim time and accuracy, you know, you really want to make sure you get your bubbles in, because these rounds will fly whichever way they want to. So the accuracy is 0.36. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, but you will see those rounds, like I said, fly all over the place, and that's why you need to get that aim time in there as quickly as possible, because you really don't want them to fly this way or that way. It's not a bad circle that you look at when you're trying to aim in. It's really not. It does get in there nicely. It doesn't get super tight like the Waffentrager E100, but it does get in there pretty nicely, and you will hit majority of the spots that you want to hit. But whether you penetrate or not, I know some of the battles you guys might be seeing is I'm going to be bouncing, and that's just that's just gonna happen. So anyways, guys, let's go and look at the armor and all the weak spots and talk about that. Alright guys, so we haven't done this in a while, so excuse me if I fuck this all up, but starting with the front of the hull, okay, we're gonna look at the lower plate. Of course, that's gonna be a weak spot on your pictures. It might not be coming up green or anything like that, but that is a weak spot, okay guys. I know it's angled pretty nicely. I mean, it kind of looks like if you would round off that where the upper plate and the lower plate kind of meet, if you kind of round that a little bit, kind of looks like the T110E5's kind of body style, if you could have rounded it, but they don't. But that's what I kind of picture it as. Anyway, so that lower plate's going to be a nasty spot to get hit at. The upper plate, like we said, it's got a decent amount of armor on it. It's got 110 armor on the upper plate, so if you do angle this, you can bounce some things, but I usually get penned because when I'm getting shot at, I'm usually like jerking it around and I'm not sitting up perfectly at an angled position, so yeah, I usually get penned there. Anyways, if you look on that far right side, there is a viewport right there. That is where your driver is. So if they shoot from anywhere from where that viewport is, all the way down to the lower plate, I mean even the bottom of the lower plate, you can actually get your driver damaged. So you need to be careful with that. My driver does get knocked out here and there, so be careful with that. Now, moving up to the front of the turret right here, you can see that on the pictures, not really showing anything, but I'm telling you, I feel like that one area doesn't protect you very well. I really do. I really feel like the that one little area where the turret is doesn't really, or where the gun is, doesn't really protect your gun that much. You might even get damaged there. I know the pictures don't really show it, but I think I get damaged there. And hopefully we can get shot there. Well, I don't want to get shot, but if we do get shot there, hopefully we can tell by looking back at the replay and stuff like that. So anyways, just on the left side of that turret, you can see that there's a little orange box there, and that is going to be actually your commander slash gunner. I believe that's more of your gunner in that position right there. So if you get hit there on the side of the turret, which I have been hit there, you will get your gunner knocked out or something like that. So I don't get him knocked out as much as I do the drivers though. Anyways, looking at the top of the turret, you can see that there is a huge, well, it's not a huge commander's hatch, but there are some huge like scope things looking up, periscope things popped up. And the actual commander's hatch itself isn't really big. It actually is synced down pretty nicely, but I do think you can damage the actual periscopes, but I'm not 100% sure on that. They could just be visual effects, just having them sit up there, kind of like the machine gun that you have on top. But the hatch itself, to be honest with you, I've never, from what I've noticed and stuff like that when I'm playing, I've never been hit there. To be honest with you, most people just try shooting my turret or my my hole in some spot. So anyways, let's move to the side. Alrighty guys, so looking at the side of this tank, we're going to start with the lower part of the hull near the tracks and stuff like that. Of course, that first wheel and the last wheel of the tracks, that's going to be weak spots for this tank. Looking at the very back of this tank, you can see there is the exhaust pipes and stuff like that. That's where your engine's going to be. From that exhaust pipe, the very front of it, right where it lines up with the turret, all the way to the very, very back is a damaging spot where you can hit either the engine or you can take out the fuel and catch this thing on fire or knock out the engine. I've been hit here a couple times. I've never been caught on fire though. Never been caught on fire that I can think of. I've always had my engine knocked out though, or slowed down, or I've had my gas tank hit but never caught on fire at this moment in time. So moving up to the turret, the side of it, you can see where those I can't remember what these are actually. I think they're like smoke grenade launchers. I don't know, or I can't remember. Somebody told me before, like flares or some kind of device that allows you to shoot like things out, like I said, like gas grenades, or not gas grenades, but like smoke grenades or flares or something like that. I can't remember what they said those little things are. There's 3 of them right there. But anyways, right there, that's going to be, like I said, kind of more where I would think your commander would be. Somewhere along those lines, maybe even the loader, actually, to be honest with you, will be sitting there. Because if you look at the back part where that little wing is, you can kind of see it's kind of separate to the actual turret itself. You can see the little crease. Can't zoom in any more than that, but that right there is going to be where the ammo is going to be stored at. So it's a very small spot to shoot at, but if you do hit it, you can knock it out. I've been hit there a couple of times, but majority of the time I've never had my ammo really knocked out. It's mostly like either my driver or my gunner has been knocked out, something like that. So but pretty much that's the side of this tank. Alrighty guys, so looking at the rear of this tank, you can see once again the very bottom part of the hull all the way up to the top of the hull is where your engine is. You can get hit there and get your engine knocked out or catch on fire, one of the two. But you can also see there is a decent amount of gappage right there from the turret to the very back of the hull. And I've been hit there by Artie, and I've been knocked out completely with one hit at 100% life. So that is a nasty spot to get hit at. Also, I've had artillery hit me on the top of the turret and knock out all of my ammunition, because the ammunition's sitting right there in the back. You can see it a little bit better when we were trying to look at it from the side view, but yeah, you can see that big little container that's kind of separate from the actual turret itself, and that's where all your ammo is going to be. And then, of course, you can definitely see in the front of the turret. We're going to switch up to the front real quick. You can kind of see where the commander's hatch is, and you can try shooting there. But on the back, you could definitely see that commander's hatch. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't even try for that. Even if I was behind the tank or the tank was turned sideways and I just saw the back of the turret, I wouldn't aim for that. I would definitely aim for the back of the turret, and if your round goes up, hopefully it'll hit the commander's hatch. But anyways, that's pretty much the back, guys. Alrighty, guys, so we're going to start on the last side, the right side of the tank. And starting with the hull, of course, like we talked about on the other side, pretty much the same scenario as the other side. The last wheel of the tracks and the front wheel of the tracks are going to be a damaging spot. Also, from the exhaust pipe all the way to the back of the hull is also going to be a nasty spot to take out the engine or the gasoline. But also, there's a couple different things on the turret we need to look at really quickly. Once again, like I said, we're just going to call those flare tubes or whatever. If we look at that right there, that's where your commander is going to be. Like I said on the other side, I couldn't remember if that's going to be commander or loader, but yeah, now that I see the weak spot there, that is definitely going to be the commander spot right there. Of course, you can damage the commander's hatch right there. There's also another weak spot where there's like a little ladder rung just bottom right of those flare tubes. You can hit right there and damage this tank. I don't know why that's considered a weak spot on that side and not on this side, on the other side too. So I'm not sure on that one. Anyways, if you could see where the Japanese logo is, we've talked about this weak spot when we were looking at the front of the tank, and I'm pretty sure this is where the gunner is. So, because like I said, I've been hit there a couple times and my gunner's been knocked out. So, anyways, guys, but that's pretty much the weak spots in a nutshell. Hopefully you guys have learned a little bit more about this tank and the weak spots on it. Like I said, these actual colors and stuff like that just represent certain spots you can hit to really damage the person. Like if you want to take out their gunner or their driver or something like that, it's really neat to actually know where to hit these weak spots at, because if they lose a driver, think of an E100. He loses a driver, he's going to be super slow. Stuff like that. So there's a lot of things you need to pay attention to, because they actually might save your butt in the end. I mean, if you have a backtrack coming after you, you shoot it in the engine, that thing completely gets knocked out. In that sense, you can run away, hopefully. So it is good to know where these weak spots are. Alrighty, guys, we're on Ensk War Standard Battle, and we're going to be facing a couple tier 10s, a couple tier 9s, tier 8s, and 2 tier 7s. So Ensk is not my favorite for this tank, because I haven't been able to play it enough to really get a knowledge of where I want to play this tank on Ensk. And a lot of you guys know, I used to do the map tutorials, like helping you guys out where to go and this and that, but I haven't done that in a while because there's been just too many variations in the game. I mean, they keep changing up the map so much that I would have to keep recreating a video for each time they change it up. So I'm kind of in that phase where I'm like, I'm gonna not do it for a while until they stop changing certain things for a while, because you got regular Ensk, you got Ensk War, you've got Fisherman Bay War, stuff like that. So there's a couple things I just don't want to really mess with at the moment until they settle down on what they're doing. So but I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button if you like it. Thank you for all the new subscribers and old subscribers. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers, and I keep saying subscribers over and over again. Holy crap. But anyways, we are really high up in there, and I cannot wait to keep growing and growing. And I can't wait to do the subscriber party for the 4,000 people. Oh my god, that is not good. That is bad. IS7 right there. No thank you. No thank you. And the AMX, why would you just like sacrifice your body like that? We've got a problem over here. We've got some big boys coming, and we need to move. This is not going to be good. And I should have turned around to do this, but I'm not going to have a chance to do that. Alright. But I am going to try to pull in here really quickly. Here we go. We did it. Pulled it around really quickly. We got to get out of here. We are not in a good spot to be. Their team is just going to keep flanking behind us. So I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run like a little girl and try to get in a better spot to start supporting some of these guys. But at this moment in time, this is not a good spot for me to be in. And there is an STI right here that I'm going to help my buddies with. So, yeah, take that STI. Yeah, take it. Take it real good. Let's see if we can get another shot on him. Hit that lower plate. Yep, somebody else hit me. Oh, IS-7. Dang. Thank you, IS-7. Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it a lot. Really don't want to get hit by him again. Can we hit any of these guys down here? Maybe this T-57? Yeah. Oh, yep. You're gone. Alrighty. So, backing away sometimes, guys, actually can help you. At least get in a better position for a little bit. Maybe be able to kick some ass. But that T-110E4 sees me. I'm pretty sure he does. Especially that VK sees me. So, let's move on. Let's help our buddy out back here. Because it looks like he's having some fun with the waffle. And I need to get over this and then turn around. See, this is the one thing bad about war. There's so many different things on this map that can like screw with you. So, but hopefully, ow! Damn it, T-110E4. Move, move, move. Got that stupid IS-7 trying to hunt us down like crazy. Man, we are in a bad spot. We are in a very bad spot. This is not good. I think we're going to get freaking... Yeah. I think this might be pretty bad for us. Oh, first time kitchen on fire. Gotta get moving. Gotta get moving. Come on. Move it. Move it. Ah! Oh, that sucked. Yeah, we definitely got surrounded on that one. We tried our best to keep away from that, but unfortunately, sometimes that shit happens. Their team just really just encircled me, and there's nowhere I could go. I could have possibly backed up the other way, but I thought maybe my speed could get me past there, but it didn't work out because I got caught on fire, my engine was damaged, and then we ran into the T-110E4, and then we went bye-bye. Alrighty guys, we got 4,938 in silver, 616 in experience points. We did come in 5th place. That's not awfully terrible in the sense of how long we lasted out there. 6 shots fired, 5 actually penetrated. We damaged 4 enemies and we detected 1. We destroyed 2 guys, so not terrible. But we could do a lot better than that. It's just like I said, Insk is one of those maps that I'm just not used to with this tank. I'm used to having heavy tanks or tanks that can, you know, take a couple hits or bounce really, really good. And the STB1, especially on war, when you have all that junk and debris everywhere, it makes it very hard for you to find, you know, your way out of the area. I mean, look at what we were trying to do for that tortoise. He was going against a waffle tier 9, and we tried helping him out, but we had to go over a whole bunch of crap just to get behind that waffle. And eventually that actually screwed us over because a lot of people were able to see us at that moment in time. So not the greatest, but not the worst in the world. Alrighty guys, we're in Melanovica standard battle, and we're going to be going against a good amount of tier 10s, only a couple tier 9s, and 2 tier 8s and a tier 7. So alrighty, let's see what we're going to do on this one. This one's not a bad map. I don't mind this map too much. It all depends on how the enemy team reacts. If all of them go up the hill, sometimes I do okay up there, sometimes I don't. If they, you know, if they do a nice even split, it'll be nice for me because I can actually go back and forth. I do have the speed to be able to go up at the top and help out. If they start getting pushed too much at the bottom, then I can go back down there and stuff like that. So hopefully they do that because that's why we're going to go up to the top, because it's a lot quicker for us to get back down the hill than it is for us to get back up the hill. I mean, we are doing about 40, 42 up this hill, so it's not terrible. It's not terrible, but it does take a while to get back all the way up here. Anyways, excuse me. I just breathed in and swallowed at the same time, and do not let that go to you guys' head. Oh, WizardKen swallowed. Ah! Assholes. Alrighty. So hopefully we do have a good amount of people coming up here, so hopefully we can kill some people. There's an AMX. Yep. Took way too much time to shoot at him. There's a new medium Russian tank right there. And he's probably got pretty thick armor. And there's an Object 263. And I really don't want to go against that at the moment. Yep, he's going to hit me. He's going to pen me. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Fucking asshole tank. I thought someone was over there dealing with that shithead. I guess not. You know what? I'm getting the... Why would you come up behind me? Get the fuck out of my fucking... You know what? Fuck you assholes. I'm fucking gone. I'm tired of this. I keep getting knocked around. And I'm fucking tired of it. You guys deal with all this shit by yourself. I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done with it. Not gonna deal with it. You guys can have fun up there doing your own stupid ass shit. All these guys sitting back here. That's priceless. Yeah, cry for help all you want, you little bitches. But I ain't doing shit for y'all. Yep. So. Can't stand fucking teams that... Oh, let's push up on people. Let's just get right behind them and fuck them over. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, now they're pushing because they have the fucking people to push now. Fucking assholes. Yep, magically somebody spotted me. Somebody's using gold rounds down here. Definitely want my ass. Waffle Panzer IV is fucking using premium ammo. That's fucking amazing. Fucking scared pussy. Yeah, eat shit. Eat shit. Wow.
Enemy destroyed.
Yeah, bitch. That's considered a kill if you I hit you and you drown, you dick. Oh man. All right, 42,000 in silver, 1,771 in experience points. We came in 4th place. We did 1,505 in assisting points, 1,843 in damage, 3 kills, which I pretty much stole from people. 12 shots fired, 6 actually penetrated, 1 enemy detected, and 4 enemies damaged, and like I said, 3 destroyed. So I'm sorry I didn't commentary on that one very much. I was getting pissed, so I was just like, nope, I'm gonna hold my tongue and not say anything. So I'm sorry about that, but I was getting pissed off at the top. I'm like, come on, guys are backing up into me, people are just being dicks, what the fuck? And then that's when I was like, I'm throwing in the towel, fuck it, I'm going my own way. And apparently the new way wasn't the greatest either, except for hitting the E75 and then going by the water. By the time our other team was pushing down, that was a good spot to go. And then starting to clean up the rest of the enemy team as we went. So, but not terrible, but not amazing. So, alrighty guys, so that's it for the STB-1. My thoughts on it, I think it's a great tank. I think it's an awesome tank. A lot of you guys that are very good with medium tanks will probably excel in this tank very, very well. Me personally, as you can see, I'm probably average to mediocre with this tank, and I've been trying to learn it over, as much as I can. Like I said, I do a lot better when I'm in a platoon, but I can't always be in a platoon, so I need to start learning how to be better at playing it by myself. But I mean, I know a lot of you guys are like, but you have the teammates to help you out. Yes, I do, but you guys know just as much as I do that they don't always like to, help you out or listen to you when you're like, hey guys, I need some backup over here. They're going to be pushing through and nobody comes. Even though there's like 5 tanks that are near you and they're like, nope, we're going to stay behind the rock and we're going to hide. No one can see us. So anyways, but I think it's a great tank. Unfortunately, I don't think I did this tank justice in the sense of playing it right. Like I said, I tried learning this as well as I could. I'm just not good at medium tanks at the moment. I will get better. It's just going to take me some more time. So hopefully by the time we get down our next medium tank line, whenever that's going to be, hopefully I'll be a lot better at medium tanks. But for now, like I said, I think it would be great for guys that are really good at medium tanks. For you new guys, maybe not so much. Like I said, I'm struggling with it. So, but at least you guys know. At least you know that, just put this one on the back burner if you're not very good with mediums, and do like T62A or maybe the Patton or something like that. Something that, from what I've heard, are not too terrible of tanks for beginners to really mess with and stuff like that. And then you can move on to like the back chat, because that's really, my understanding and from what I see, is really a expert tank. Really, you need to be quick on your feet and know how to run mediums and stuff like that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button if you like the video. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. You new subscribers, welcome. Old subscribers, thank you so much for staying and being so supportive. You guys have been amazing. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers. It is so exciting. And one thing I do want to bring up real quick before we end this is I know a lot of you guys, I did put kind of a controversy kind of video up yesterday. I mean, I was just throwing out my thoughts, what I hate about certain things. And I've had a lot of support, good support on there. But you can see this is probably the video that I've had the most dislikes on than any other video I've probably ever put out. And that's fine. And that's to be expected. I knew as soon as I put up this video that there's going to be love on my side, and then there's going to be people that dislike it and stuff like that. But, and that's fine. That's fine. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this version of the video, like the whole new, you know, Japanese music theme and everything like that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'm going to try to start doing that with the other tanks, stuff like that. Maybe try to get the country's music and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty neat. Anyways, I'm WizardKen, guys. We're going to be starting on our new tank lines very, very soon. We're going to get the mouse first, then the not the waffle. We're going to get the mouse first, then the E100. Then we're going to get the Jagdpanzer E100. And then I think we're going to finally start on another medium line, the T62A or something like that. So we've got some good tanks lined up. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me to go down these German lines for a long, long time. I'm doing it. I'm going to knock them all out all at the same time in that sense. Well, not all at the same time, but one right after another. We're just going to knock them down. All right, guys. Till next time. See ya.